Good morning and welcome to Take Your Life Back Today show with Ralf Friedrichs. Today we are going to talk about the 10 tips on rebuilding your relationship, with whether it's with your wife, your husband, your grandparents, your parents, friends. These are 10 tips on how to rebuild your relationship in recovery. There is not an easy fix. It does take time, and I always say this, big changes happen in small steps. They start with small steps, and that is how to accomplish those big changes. But like always, I want to speak about Dr. Luis Gonzalez from StartingPointMN.com. You can reach him at 844-414-8444. Dr. Luis Gonzalez will help you walk from your addiction to your recovery, hand in hand, 24 hours at a time, day by day. He will never ever talk about your past. It is not a good idea to bring up the past unless you're going through counseling or therapy, where bringing the past onto the surface works and lets you build the foundation for today. But as far as addiction recovery, it is important that we worry about today. Today's 24 hours and then continue into tomorrow. So call Dr. Luis Gonzalez at 844-414-8444 and let him help take your life back. He also has an addiction recovery coaching school. He can turn you into an addiction recovery coach. If you have passion, personality, and professionalism, and you have some sort of addiction background, whether it's battling your own or possibly helping someone else, call him at 844-414-8444. He will help turn you into an addiction recovery coach. All it is a phone call, 844-414-8444, and tell Dr. Luis Gonzalez that Ralf Friedrichs sent you. Shout out to globaleyeglasses.com, where they are focused on saving you money. They have frames that start as low as $6 and go up. And let me tell you what those frames include. Those frames include single vision, regular plastic, non-coated, regular RX lenses. They also include a cloth and a case as low as $6 and work their way up. But you might ask, Ralph, what if I need progressives? They have them. What if I need line bifocals? They have them. What if I want transitions when they change outdoors and indoors? They have them. They also have photochromatics. They have polarized lenses. They can make your lenses thinner by about 25%. That is all available at globaleyeglasses.com, where they are focused on saving you money. Here is the great perk of not only being the host of Take Your Life Back Today shows, I'm also in the optometry field for over 30 years, so I can personally help globaleyeglasses.com customers with my expertise. I can help you fit your glasses. I can help you talk about your prescription, what I recommend is best for your eyes. But all it takes is text me at 631-599-0218, call me at 844-405-HELP, which is my hotline for Take Your Life Back Today show, and I will help order your glasses through globaleyeglasses.com. Many people have called me and have said, listen, Ralph, it's so hard to order online glasses. How can you help me? Well, I will try to help you in recommending what I feel is the best fit for you. Text me at 631-599-0218 or call me at 844-405-HELP and let me help you with globaleyeglasses.com. Please go to my website, www.takeyourlifebacktoday's show. That's about this show and what we do on our show, and about myself as the host, and also about the episodes in the past. Go there. You can also find information on addiction recovery and drug abuse on my other website, which is www.clearviews.info. That's www.clearviews.info. And my other website is on how I am an addiction recovery coach and how I can help you through your addiction, like Dr. Luis Gonzalez, and you can find me at www.clearreform.com. You notice both my other websites start with the word clear, and what clear stands for is something that I invented back in 2013, and clear stands for Community Lessons Empower Addiction Recovery. It is our community right here, our lessons in life, our lessons in recovery, our lessons in addiction that empower our community to learn. That is why I called it Clear Reform and Clear Views. So go to either one of those websites, and you can also always text me 24/7, 631-599-0218, and you can also call me on my hotline, 844-405-HELP. Today, we are going to talk about 10 tips on rebuilding relationships in recovery. It is well known that alcohol and drug addiction can cause serious damage to the body, mind, but it also will have a destructive effect on your relationship. These are the 10 tips that I want to give to you on how to build and rebuild your relationship. The first tip I want to give you is minimize denial. For any addict, denial is its most powerful problem that they have, because if they can just get past the self-worth of themselves not having a problem and just admit to having a problem, that is the first step of recovery. That is the most important step of recovery. So you need to minimize the denial as much as you can. Step number 2 is to apologize and ask for forgiveness. It is an important step in recovery, and it's not only understanding the pain you have caused, but asking loved ones for forgiveness. You might have hurt your wife or husband. You might have hurt your parents, your children. And it is now time to slowly but surely start working on repairing that. It is also important that you cannot fix everybody and ask everybody for forgiveness. So start with the most important, closest people in your life. Your spouse, your parents, your children. Those are the first people. And then, like I said in the beginning here, changes will happen with the small steps. You start building a walkway of life in your path of life with small steps. Number 3 is don't expect immediate trust. You have to remember what you have done in your past has caused people to second guess your actions. Repaying the ability to trust will take time. Don't be surprised or offended by the length of time that it might take. Just be patient. Remember, they stuck with you through your possible lies, your addiction, your stealing. Time after time. It is going to take time for that to heal. Have an open mind. You have now a clear and sober mind, and just let time just heal all wounds. Number 4, communicate more openly. When we, and I say we because I used to be an alcoholic, I still am an alcoholic, but now I'm an alcoholic that lives with my addiction. But when I didn't live with my addiction, when I was feeding my addiction, everything was kept inside of me because most of my actions were kept secret for a lot of reasons. Although I thought people didn't know, believe me, people in your inner circle know when you're doing drugs and alcohol. But start communicating openly. There is no shame in admitting you have a problem. There is no shame in talking about your past. If anything, it becomes like what I do. By me bringing up what I have done, my past, helps hopefully 1 or 2 or 1,000 people. It is my story that helps people, and there's people, real people out in my audience with real stories that certainly highlight people that do have issue in their own life, highlight their own stories, and hopefully bring their problems to the surface for them to be able to tackle. Next one on my list is always be honest. Being honest will be the ultimate goal on winning that trust back. You need to be honest, because forget the fact that if you think you're lying to people, you're lying to yourself. And that's why when people are not honest about denying that they have a problem, they're only lying to themselves. Next one is stay sober. That's a huge one. Stay away from any alcohol and drugs, especially in the beginning. When I say stay away, I'm not even talking about consuming. I'm talking about staying away from the bars, staying away from people that are passing around joints, because you, in the beginning, are very fragile in your recovery. And we don't need any little issue to trigger or stressors to happen to have you relapse. I will tell you, people use relapses as an excuse. I am also here to tell you, if it does happen, it happens. It has happened to me way, way back years ago. The most important thing about relapses is that you pick yourself up, you dust your knees, and you march forward in the land of sobriety. You don't ever look back, and more importantly, never ever go back to the old ways again. Next one is be patient and give it time. Mostly important is that you don't rush into trying to build relationships, because the trust factors have to come back, the honesty has to come back. So you have to remember how long it took to win and to get to the point that you are. Now give it time to repair. Alcoholism and drug addiction had ruined your life, and it ruined it year after year after year. Don't expect to repair overnight. It will happen if you have these 10 things going for you. You have to be honest. You have to win their trust back. You have to stay sober. You have to minimize denial. Those are all important factors on giving you time for repair. Number 9, attend support groups. Very important. Some people, like myself, I don't really attend support groups because I more or less am my support group. I am supporting you, my audience, and you, my audience, support me by watching me. But if you're one of those folks that needs to sit and either speak to someone or wants to be part of some sort of forum, there are so many avenues to go by. You have your AA, you have treatment centers, you have rehab centers, you have church, you have online AA meetings. Just look out into Google any social network as far as alcohol addiction and drug addiction, and you will find that there are hundreds out there. It's a matter of you doing the research. And if you don't know how to find these places, by all means, text me 631-599-0218, and I will help find these locations for you. Last but not least is focus on those closest to you. That goes back to what I said to you about asking for forgiveness. You need to focus on your husband. You need to focus on your wife. You need to focus on your children, your mother, your father, your grandparents. Those are the people in your inner circle of life. Those are the people that you need to focus. You can't fix all relationships all at once. Fix the closest ones to you, and then the other ones will fall into place. It's almost like the pyramid scheme or that everybody is seeing, the Amways. It's a pyramid. If you start with the ones closest to you, everything will trickle down to other people. It's almost word of mouth when people say, hey, did you hear Ralph? He used to be a drunk. I used to see him standing by the corner drinking. Did you hear? He is now actually helping people. And when you do stuff like this, this is how it will trickle on down to focusing on other people as far as your outer circle. You have to remember that a sober today, I guarantee you, will make a better tomorrow. Think positive every single day, and I promise you positive results will reap from thinking positive. And you have to remember that big changes only come with small steps. They start with the small steps in life. These are the 10 tips of rebuilding relationships and recovery, and it is so important that you adhere to these 10 tips. It is important maybe that you write them down, and I'm going to give you, while I read the first paragraph, I'm going to give you a chance to get a pen, pencil, or paper. It is well known that alcohol and drug addiction can cause serious damage to the body, mind, but it is also can have a destructive impact on your relationship. Here are 10 tips that will hopefully help you rebuild your relationship. Most important one is you need to absolutely minimize denial. I, for one, will say that you have to totally not deny that you have a problem. You need to admit you have a problem. Minimizing doesn't do it as far as I'm concerned. It's either you deny or you don't. There is no gray, shady area. It's either black or white. You need to stop denying you have a problem. We're going to talk about that after these 10 tips. Number 2 is you need to apologize and ask for forgiveness from people that you might have hurt. Remember, when you were on drugs and alcohol, you might have said things, you might have done things that have hurt people. You might have taken things that have hurt people. It is now time for you to start asking for forgiveness. Pick and choose on what type of forgiveness you're asking for what you have done. If you have done something in your past that you want to be forgiven for, but you're afraid that if you go to this person, it might make things worse, go see your local church. Pray to God for forgiveness. Sometimes it's better not to ask for forgiveness on something that you have done that will only hurt that person even more now. Number 3 is don't expect immediate trust. Look how long it took you to get to where you are. Look how many years you denied you had a problem. Now you have finally said, Ralph, or God, I know I have a problem. I need help. Well, don't expect the people that have been hurt by your actions, have been hurt by your words, to suddenly start trusting you. Only you, within time, will earn that trust back. Your actions speak louder than words. Show them the new you. Number 4 on my list is communicate more openly. When we're drunk, when we're on drugs, we keep things bottled up inside. It is now time for you to start speaking openly about you, about your disease, about your past, about your present, and about your future. Set passions in your life, starting today, of what you want to do to maybe help people. Folks, there is nothing better than to sit and think of what you're going to do tomorrow to help fellow human mankind. Nothing better. I'll tell you why. Because it not only builds up your self-esteem, but you're making a difference in your community, in your state, and globally. My show, I've said this before, has reached boundaries of the East-West Coast, up to Alaska, down to South America, across to Europe, into Africa, where I have gotten emails and comments from people that have seen my show on YouTube and have said it has made a difference in their own life. Set a goal like that for yourself. It doesn't have to be in front of a camera. It could be a blog. It could be merely just going to your neighbor's house on a snowy day like we've had in the Hamptons for the past couple of months and saying, may I help you maybe take your garbage out and do some shoveling. When you do good for others, you are helping yourself tremendously. Number 5 on my list is always be honest. You know, a lot of times when we're drunk and we're doing when we're drunk and we're doing drugs, we're afraid to be honest because we are afraid of the consequences. But I am here to tell you that honesty is the best policy. Yes, sometimes being honest can hurt, whether you're the person that's going to be hurt or you're going to hurt someone. But in the long run, you don't have to cover up those lies, because those lies turn bigger as they turn into a huge snowball. And eventually, you'll have an avalanche of all those lies that you have said and that you cannot cover up anymore. So start being honest. Start today. Stay sober. A huge one. You have to make sure that you don't go back to doing drugs and alcohol. And the only way to start in your recovery is to stay away from places that serve alcohol. Stay away from people that are doing drugs. After a while, year or two, you'll be able to, like myself, walk into a liquor shop to do my lotto and not be affected by vodka or Jack Daniels. You'll be able to go to Applebee's with your family and sit right across from 2 people that are drinking wine and not be affected by it. But that comes all within time. In the beginning stages, do not allow yourself to be engulfed in any type of alcohol atmosphere or people that are doing drugs. Number 6, be patient and give it time. Remember how long it took for you to finally admit you have a problem. Now give it time for people to accept that you have admit that you had a problem. Number 7, become active parent and spouse. That is a huge one. All those months, all those years, you were less than half of a parent, less than half of a spouse, because the other half was always drunk. The other half was infected by drugs. Now, being sober, it's time for you to become an active parent, active spouse. Listen to your wife and your husband. Listen to what they have to say. Be involved in school activities. Show your children that there is always a chance for change in life. Because your example of how you change is how your children are going to remember that anything is possible through change. Anything is possible through the power of God. Number 8, attend support groups. Huge, super important that you attend your AAs if you want to. Attend your rehab centers. Attend the treatment centers. The churches. Attend whatever function speaks of drug and alcohol abuse. Attend MAD, SAD meetings, local meetings. Attend your local villages and town hall meetings about drug and alcohol abuse. Be involved in the social support groups. Number 10, focus on the closest to you. It is super important that you focus on your husband, your wife, your mother, your father, your children, before focusing on the other people. Because those are the people that you have probably hurt most oftenly and mostly. So start focusing on and repairing your relationship. Utilize these 10 tips, and I hope you got to write them down. Utilize these 10 tips on rebuilding your relationship and recovery. Minimize denial, apologize and ask for forgiveness. Don't expect immediate trust. Communicate more openly. Always be honest. Stay sober. Be patient and give it time. Become an active parent and spouse. Attend support groups and focus on the closest to you. Those are the 10 tips. I hope to God that you utilize these 10 tips. And I want to address number 1 because it is so important that we minimize denial. And I'm going to say there is no minimize. There is either you deny or you don't deny. There is no shade or gray area in this. Let today, after hearing this, let today be the first day that you are finally not going to deny you have a problem. If you're doing drugs and alcohol on a daily basis, you have a problem. If you're drinking 2 to 3 drinks daily, you have a problem. If you smoke a marijuana or doing crack cocaine daily, you have a problem. Who are you kidding by saying you don't have a problem by what I just discussed with you? You're only lying to yourself because everybody else around you know that you have a problem. So stop lying to yourself, because lying to yourself is not going to save your lungs, not going to save your kidneys, not going to save your liver, and certainly not going to save your heart. Lying to yourself is exactly what it is, lying to yourself. When you stop denying, reach to your higher power. Reach to God and ask for guidance and direction. Let Him help you through life for the rest of your life. Show your children that it is so important that when you finally realize, not you alone, but when people in general finally realize that they have a problem in life, whether it's drugs, alcohol, lying, stealing, that people can turn around. The main thing here is never, ever, ever give up. When you give up, it is like it's like dying. But when you never give up, when you always move forward, mistake after mistake after mistake, you keep going, eventually you'll get it right. Eventually things become better, and the power of God will help you. It is so important, not just in drug and alcohol abuse, that we pray to God each and every day for a lot of things. Most importantly, for being alive. There are people all over the world that are taking their last breath, closing their eyes for the last time. But obviously, if you're watching me right now during this episode, you are alive. Did you thank God today for being alive? Did you thank God for another day on this beautiful earth? And if you're sitting there and saying, okay, Ralph, I know I have a problem, but I'll change maybe tomorrow. Listen to my words right now very clearly and loudly. There might not be a tomorrow for you. There might not be a tomorrow here for me. It is so important you make the changes today before it's too late. God forbid one day when we all die, if we didn't change, do you want someone to say, well, Ralph died because he was an alcoholic, or Ralph died because he abused drugs? But if you change today, and God forbid you die in a week, a year, 10 years, or 30 years from now, people will remember that you made a commitment to change. People will remember that you never, ever gave up and you kept going forward. Utilize God. That is what God is there for, to guide and direct you. But you have to reach out to Him. You have to remember, no matter where you're sitting right now watching this, whether it's in jail because of DWI for dealing drugs, whether it's in a homeless shelter because you utilized all your money on your drug addiction or alcohol addiction, whether it's in a nursing home, whether it's in your kitchen living room, remember this. God is with you. It doesn't matter where you're watching me. If you're in the jungle in Africa watching me, or in England watching me, or in Alaska watching me, or in Florida or California, God is so almighty and large and big that He is there right now with you. Yes, you won't see Him, but I guarantee you when you start praying to God, you will hear Him in so many ways. You'll hear Him by your color of your skin changing because you're getting better from being sober. You're here because when you ask them for guidance and direction about your drug addiction, financials are getting better. You're here because your relationship is becoming better. That is the power of prayer. It won't happen overnight. These things take gradual things to time to happen. Like anything. I woke up this morning, I happened to look at my emails, and what do I get? An email from a certain show asking me if I wanted to be a guest on their show. I have gotten many more of these particular emails, and if it's related to any improvement of life, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, or a role model, anything like that, I will always be a guest on someone else's show. I will not be part of a Jerry Springer atmosphere show. When they contacted me, I wasn't part of that. Because I will not be part of huge ratings because of brawls or people yelling. My mission in life is to help people with drug and alcohol addiction and life issues. That is my mission. Any show that wants to have me as a guest for that reason, I'll be there. But for any other reason, I will not be there. I am not here to promote myself in any other way other than a man that experienced alcoholism for so many years, a man that has learned and lived with addiction, and a man that wants to share his stories, my stories, with you, my audience. Folks, I hope to God you all have a great day, and I hope to God that a sober today for you makes a better tomorrow for you. Remember, by having positive thoughts, by thinking positive every day, you will reap positive results. I guarantee you that. And big changes start with small steps. I hope to God everyone in my audience has a great day. But more importantly, I hope everyone in my audience has a sober day. May God bless you.